Alright, 8th graders, I want you to have your hands warmed up and ready to go. So X and Y intercepts so the point at which the line intersects the x-axis is, of course, the x-intercept. Therefore, the point at which the line intersects the y-axis is the y-intercept. We know that, right? So, today we're going to find our intercepts algebraically, using algebra, right? Algebraically. So, here's what's super important. To find the x-intercept, of an equation, you're going to set y equal to 0 and solve for x. Likewise, to find the y-intercept of an equation, you will set x equal to 0 and solve for y. So if we are finding the x and y-intercept of the equation, y equals 3x plus 6. For the x-intercept, remember we want to set y to 0, so we're saying 0 equals 3x plus 6, and now we're solving for x. So I'm subtracting 6 from both sides, and then I'm dividing both sides by 3. So negative 2 equals x. So our x-intercept is negative 2, 0. And our y-intercept, we want to set x equal to 0. So this becomes 0. We have y equals 6. So our y-intercept would be at the point 0, 6. Okay? So, let's find the x and y-intercepts of these equations. Y equals negative x plus 5. So our x-intercept, we set y equals to 0. We're solving for x. Negative 5 equals negative x. We have to divide both sides by negative 1 to get just x. So 5 equals x. So our x-intercept is 5, 0. And our y-intercept, y equals negative 0 plus 5. Well, that's just 0, right? So y equals 5, 0, 5 is our y-intercept. Remember, x always is at 0 when it runs into the y-axis, and y is always at 0 when it runs into the x-axis. So we can write that whole point. Alright, let's try one more. Y equals 1/2 x plus 8. Try your x-intercept, guys. Pause your video. Remember, you set y equal to 0. So I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. And I'm going to multiply both sides by 2 because it's really dividing x by 2. So negative 16 equals x. Is that right? Looks good to me. So my x-intercept is negative 16, 0. And then my y-intercept, I have to say y equals 1/2 times 0, which is of course just 0. So y equals 8. So 0, 8. So then it gives us 2 points and we could easily draw a line, right guys? Now, you could also graph using those intercepts, right? If I gave you a number, so I wanted to show you this back part. So we would find the x and y intercepts. So the x-intercept would be, if I set that to 0, it would just be x equals 3. So 3, 0. And if I set x to 0, it would be y equals 3. 0, 3. So then I could put those two numbers, so 3, 0 and 0, 3, on my grid. Draw a line, and voila. Okay? So if I'm setting, for my x-intercept, if I'm setting y to 0, that gets rid of this, right? But then we have to divide by 4, so 20 divided by negative 4 is negative 5. And if I'm setting this to 0 to find my y-intercept, I have to divide 20 by 5. So that becomes 4. So 0, 4. So I have negative 5, 0, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 0, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, if you need me to slow that down a tad, I can write that out for you. So, when I am solving for my x-intercept, I'm setting y to 0. So I would have 9x minus 15 times 0 equals 45. So here I was just saying, okay, I won't have that at all, so I just have 9x equals 45. We're just kind of crossing that out, right? But now I have to divide both sides by 9, so I have x equals 5. So my point there would be 5, 0. And then when I'm solving for my y-intercept here for number 9, I have to set my x value to 0. So again, I was thinking, okay, that's gone. Now I have to divide both sides by that negative 15. So y equals negative 3. So 0, negative 3. So I would plot my points, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0, and then 0, negative 3, 1, 2, 3. And then any 2 points I can use to make a line. So once again, the quick version, if I set this to 0, it's 7 divided by 2, so 7 halves, which is about 6.5. So 7 halves 0. And if I set this to 0, I would end up with -7, because 7 divided by -1 is -7. So 7 halves, what do we say is like 3.5? 1, 2, 3.5 here. And 0, -7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you could draw. Dun, 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 dun. Or choose where it would go, right? All right. Have a fantastic day, guys. Keep working hard.